Hello and welcome to the RattleMind podcast. I'm Rye, and joining with me is my co-host.
I'm Panchy.
All right, and as always, we are going to talk about whatever is rattling on our mind. Today's topic is going to be video games. Well, this is probably like part one because we'll probably revisit this a
There's so
billion
much you can
times.
talk about video games.
Exactly. All right, so, all right, blanking. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Video games. Where did you start off gaming? Let's start with you.
Oh gosh. Well, if this doesn't show my age, I don't know what will, but the computers were starting to get popular. The internet was starting to grow and be more accessible to everybody. And um I as far as online gaming, like I started like with Neopets and like that's actually where I started role playing and like I would have these little PC games, like little demo games and like oh gosh, there's so many weird like serial themed demo games that I played with my
Yep.
sister. Um as far as like uh to go even further back than that was like Game Boys, like I played like the old Pokemon games and stuff like that. So
You want to date
uh
yourself. Here, let me date myself.
okay.
The Tandy. Um,
What is a Tandy?
a Tandy is a computer
Oh.
from the 1980s. That is where I started gaming.
Reminded me of something, but go ahead and tell me what that is.
Well, the Tandy, I believe Radio Shack is the one actually sold the computers.
God, Radio Shack, that does the
Oh, yeah. It was one of the first with a color monitor option, I believe. And because my dad was really excited about computers while he was in college, and he eventually learned how to do programming and stuff. But he got the Tandy, and all of us kids would get like half an hour or so with him watching to play whatever games he was able to get. And I had a Mickey Mouse game. It was text based, so you actually had to type in all the words. So my brother or sister would help me with that. Where we were in search of Mickey's friends. And of course, all the planets were represented, especially Pluto, because guess who was on Pluto? Oh, you're not going to get.
Santa.
No, it was Pluto.
Whoa, what a
Uh,
concept.
the other thing is, we had a Sesame Street video game. Of course, this was when I was playing him. I was over 5 years old because there's no way a 2 year old is going to realize what's going on the monitor at that time when computers didn't exist and no one knew what they were.
Right. I'm actually going to send you a picture of something that I can probably date back further than my old Game Boys and stuff. It was called Pico. It was
Yep, I know
this
the Pico.
plastic laptop looking thing that you hook up to the TV, and it didn't have its own screen, so you put the plastic book frame in it, and it had the little interactable pen, and you touch the book with the pen. Did you have one of those?
Uh,
That was basically like a video game.
not
You
really.
play games with the book. I, my sister and I were obsessed with this thing, and um, they're being called vintage and stuff. I wonder where ours went. My mom probably got rid of it, but if anything got me into video games, it very well could have been this because I was definitely a little kid with this thing. And someone's selling it right now for $32 online. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little tempting just for nostalgia's sake. Let me see if I can get a picture of this thing. God, I haven't thought about these things in forever. There it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that same um book to the oh gosh, what were those called? Richard Scarry's Huckle and Lowly Busiest Day Ever. We had uh I forget what that like universe was called with those characters, but my sister and I had a pop-up book that was like massive that was themed around that. And it was so amazing. Like the simplest things entertained us in the 90s for real. And this pop-up book was the size of like, I don't know, can't even think of, like a big mirror. Like it was huge.
Okay. I've put up on the video here what both of us are talking about. On the over my face is the Tandy, and over Panchi's heart is what she was talking about. The God, my brain is already blanking because I was doing this. Yeah. So, and
Whoa, okay, so you had a legit mini computer.
that was not a mini computer. Well, it was small for back then, but yeah. Yep, that's what my dad had. And that's what my brother and sister and I played on to do
That
video
is
games.
nifty.
Uh,
Wow.
the other thing we had was the Atari 2600A,
Oh yeah.
which I do still have my Atari.
That's cool. That is cool. I had always heard about those, but I didn't start really console gaming until we got our N64, and that's when like was really into consoles.
Yeah, for the longest time, I my mom and dad got divorced, so he had all the computer stuff, but my mom had the consoles because she technically had us, the kids, in the divorce. So we kept the Atari, and we eventually got the original Nintendo, well, the US Nintendo, and then the Super Nintendo and things like that. Up until I think I stayed with consoles up until the PlayStation 3. And that's about when I got really into building my own computer and getting a good gaming computer. Plus I
Nice.
plus that's about the time when Steam was starting to get big too. So,
Yeah, I
computer gaming
kind
got
of
easier
missed
there.
that initial train because so like my parents divorced too when I was a kid, and my dad, he definitely let us play video games. He had us every other weekend, and my mom, that's where the computer was. And I love computers so much that it actually kind of concerned her.
So you were basically the exact opposite of me growing up.
Well, yeah, she got a little restrictive. She did not uh enjoy that at all. So she got more restrictive as opposed to like, let's explore this, you know? So I didn't really have that chance. I didn't really like get into Steam until like college, I think. So
Yeah. The first game that I played that I actually had to have, well, technically I didn't actually have the money to play it, but my brother let me play it, was Asheron's Call.
nope, not ringing any bell.
It was the original three MMOs. Well, the not the original three because the original one is Ultima Online, and then you go into let's see what came after Ultima. Uh, I can't remember. I just watched a video on it, and I can't remember what the pain in the butt. But this is the video game that actually started me in MMOs. I gotta steal the image for that so I can put that up there.
My dad and I played World of Warcraft together, and that's what started me into them.
Uh,
Well, actually, he let me play on his account first, and I eventually got my own, and we played. And then I played uh shortly after World of Warcraft, and I went to college. It was the original Guild Wars was the other MMO that got me into stuff.
let me save the blasted image. No, I don't want a web BP, whatever that junk is. Close. This is what.
Because of all. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
This is why doing stuff on the fly sucks.
Well, you never know what you're going to talk about, so you just kind of gotta have
Exactly.
a web browser up and hope for the best.
Here, we'll
But
see.
while you're looking for that, my mom, because of my mom's restrictions, I started getting kind of creative. I started looking for games that you could play online with others that didn't require a download. So that way she'd never know, right? And there was this browser game, and it was kind of like an MMO. It was all 2D, and you picked your little sprite, and you ran around, and you were able to like shoot and kill stuff or whatever. And you actually ran into other sprites being run by other people too. And I'll never remember what it was called, but I got real crafty when I had to. In fact, there was a time where my school banned Neopets,
Oh yeah, yep.
and so I couldn't play it at school. But like, I learned what proxies were because of that. So I would just find a proxy and go to Neopets through the proxy, and just that's how I would play it. And of course, I got caught, but like, it made me really crafty back in the day.
Yeah. Well, there's the box art for Asheron's Call. Um, it says Microsoft on the top, but the studio that
Okay.
produced it was named Turbine. Just want to point that
Oh, okay.
out because they did
Oh,
go
and
on
then
to make a lot of different games because they actually did the Dungeons and Dragons MMO.
oh, okay, okay.
So point that out there.
Pico
Uh,
was made by Sega, apparently.
yeah,
I didn't remember that until I showed you that picture.
yeah. It's like let's go through gaming memory. Uh, but yeah, Asheron's Call was the first MMO I actually played. Of course, you had the web-based things like you were saying. Because I did play Neopets. In fact, I played
Oh
Neopets
my
before I
gosh.
switched over to Asheron's Call.
I was obsessed with those. I made like probably 5 accounts because you could only adopt a max of 4 pets per account. So I made probably 5 accounts so I could adopt a ton of pets. Oh my god, it was
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh, it was. I never got into Club Penguin because that was like 10 years after all the,
Forgot about it either.
you know, apparently it had eventually turned into a grooming type of situation.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Uh,
Then
there was also
Disney bought Club Penguin and then they shut it down.
oh,
Yeah.
huh. At the time there was also a very social little game called Go Gaia. I don't know if you remember that one. That
Uh,
one got me in trouble because that was the first game that I actually wanted, like, I gave someone my phone number to talk to IRL,
mm, yeah.
and that got me in massive trouble. And I tried to lie, of course, and it didn't work. So, but yeah, and at the time, like, we only had landlines. We didn't have our own cell phones, So
Yeah.
like, you know, I
My,
had to give my mom some kind of story, and she did not buy it. Oh, that didn't help.
yeah. I remember I remember my brother playing Asheron's Call and my mom somewhat yelling at him for tying up the landline because she had to make a phone call.
That's funny.
Yeah, but yeah, and MMOs, I've played a little bit of almost everything because I would join almost every beta MMO. So I played,
Wow.
yeah, I played WoW. I played. Actually, I still have a lot of the boxes over here. Let me look at them. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I got Dungeons and Dragons Online. I still have the box for that. Of course, I played World of Warcraft. I played the sequel to Asheron's Call, but it got shut down because there was not enough player interest in it. Uh,
It's kind of like the Maple Story sequel.
yeah, it happens a lot.
love the original Maple Story, and my late cousin got me into it. Rest in peace, Randy. And we played that together a lot. And then Maple Story 2 came out, and it was like a 3D version, like a normal MMO that you would expect, But like it was not. It did not get received very well, and they like funding problems, yada yada, So
Yeah, that's
it's been
usually
a
what
while since I
happens.
researched those, but
Uh, but yeah, I played Rift as well, the original beta for that. And I know that Rift has changed a lot. Oh, and something that we've played together was, what was it? Elder Scrolls Online. I was in the beta for that,
oh yeah.
and that
You
has
know,
changed drastically.
I really like and appreciate that game, but I cannot get into it. I don't know why. I just can't get myself to get obsessed like I am with other games. Like I have it, I love it, and I play from time to time, but I'm just not as like into the whole like that, I guess.
Yeah, I liked it in its original incarnation, but the released version that's now out there, yeah, I just didn't really care for it.
Yeah. Uh, so you liked it before?
Yeah, I liked it before when it was in beta because I liked the progression because there was actual because you were when you first started. I believe this is a very long time ago. You actually had a starter quest where you were not in the world at all, and I remember that at the very end of the quest, you talked to this wizard, and then they released you to the rest of the world, but I can't remember it very well. I'm pretty sure I could probably pull up a Josh Strife Hayes video and he'd have something on it. Actually, he might not. But yeah, let's see.
Final
I
Fantasy 14 went through some weird phases. I remember way back in the day, I was dating a guy who was like completely obsessed with it. But like it was so convoluted to get it to work on my computer, which at the time was a Windows 8, so that probably didn't help.
yeah,
Um
the
the
original incarnation of that was terrible.
Yeah, it was. I was like, how why do you put yourself through this for this game? Like, is it really like worth it? It was insane. But I wound up like having a character at one point, and then fast forward to like a couple years ago when our friend Beth was playing it, and I joined, and I actually that old ass character still exists on a completely different like world or server or whatever. But like I was gonna spend the money to move it over, but like as what happens with me all the time with pay to play games, I just like lost interest. I love Final Fantasy 14 though, but like I just can't do pay to play because I phase in and out of games so much that
Yep, yep.
I can't be paying for time I'm not going to use it for, I That's why I love Guild Wars 2, because it's free to play and it doesn't like shove it down your throat all the time that you're not paying.
Right.
You are gonna want to get expansion packs to really enjoy it fully, but you don't have to enjoy it at all. And like it actually kind of makes you want to support them and spend money on them and get like the skins and stuff, and you can come back to it any time without paying a subscription. Guild Wars 2, in my opinion, is really one of the best free to play MMOs out there right now.
Yeah, I kind of dropped off on MMOs because of the change in the way they're done, and mostly it started like 10 years ago when they switched over to a more competitive style or just made it way too you have to group to do
Yeah,
anything. And
yeah.
in MMOs, I like to be a solo player, which a lot of people don't understand. But I
It's
like,
because of my phasing in and out that I like to be solo too.
yeah. it's just easier to be on your own, doing your own thing. And then if one of your friends comes on, you go and join them and do whatever.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
which is why I hated World of Warcraft. If I ever wanted to
Mm.
get any of the good equipment, I had to join a raid which has a ton of people, and I really don't want to be around a ton of people I don't know and get yelled at because I pulled aggro when I shouldn't have.
Right. Or something stupid. God. World of Warcraft, like, I have so many fond memories of playing it with my dad, and I would love to play it again, but like at the same time, my dad and I can't play together much. And what you're left with is a community of people that like really do like ugh, they will destroy you if you make a mistake in anything they're doing. They really will. It's so annoying and it's just man, I miss those old characters and I love the storyline and everything, but like you said, you have to deal with these people, and it's so painful
Yeah,
to deal with them. These elitist wild jerks. It's so crazy.
yeah. And see, that's why I am more of a co op player. If I'm going to play a game with other people, I'd rather play cooperatively rather than having an element of competing with each other.
Right.
That's why,
Still have a soft spot in my heart for MMOs, but I have moved on to like more multiplayer friendly kind of like non in not as intense kind of things are reliant on strangers kind of
right.
things. Actually, one of the earliest MMOs I remember being obsessed with was RuneScape, and I know we've all kind of dabbled in that before together, our little
Oddly
group of
enough,
friends.
I've never played RuneScape.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember if you were there or not, but trust me, nowadays you're not missing much because back in the day it was the shit. It was different. It was free. Nowadays it's turned into this just ugly. Oh, so remember how I said Guild Wars 2 doesn't shove it down your throat that you're not paying to
Yeah,
play? RuneScape does. Every second that it can, it reminds you, like, it dangles shit in front of you, you know? And it'll be like, hey, like, look at this. It's really pretty. It's really cool. You can come do this thing. But then, like, you, like, click it and it's like, oh, you're not a paid member. Like, that is everywhere in everything you do. And I was like, I'm glad you're still alive, for old time's sake, but I'm good. I'm good. I can't do this anymore.
right. Uh,
But
and
it was one of the earliest MMOs I ever played, and it was pretty cool back in the day.
yeah, and that monetization is why MMOs don't get made really anymore. Because
Right.
everyone's like, I don't want to see this pop up every 5 seconds.
It
Plus,
really does do that, yeah.
most MMOs nowadays are headed to phone based. So, like, Genshin has a phone app, I think, that you can play it on.
I don't understand this. I know what you're talking about. I just don't understand why people want to play on their phones.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it's like the whole thing, the whole debacle with Diablo Immortal. Because literally, Diablo's fan base is a hardcore, I'm going to play the game through the story and learn about stuff. And then they came out with a phone based game, and when they announced it, the, one of the main questions you get, the first question they got that everyone loves and still loves, this isn't some sort of early April Fool's joke, is it? And everyone jumped out laughing, and then they're like, "What's your problem, guys? You do have phones, right? You can play it." Yes, we have phones, but I am not staring at a what 2 inch by 3 inch screen. I mean, that's what it feels like to me. And trying to button mash my way and
For the obligate.
yeah, and smudge up my screen trying to get this character that's only about the size of a pea to move from one point of the screen to another. It's stupid.
Right.
And I think
Yeah, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
exactly. And then, of course, they massively monetized it by throwing in tons and tons of microtransactions. Hey, if you buy this, you can get this little booster for the next time you go into a dungeon, and you'll get more loot. And that's just like, no, I want to have the experience of running through the dungeon without having to pay money just so that I can run the dungeon and get the things I want.
Exactly.
Which, oddly enough, is why I'm playing Minecraft a lot lately. Is because one of the YouTubers I watch like crazy, well, maybe not like crazy, but that I enjoy, Eskal85. I'm trying to say it in the Swedish pronunciation, and I never will, even though I know how to do it somewhat, because I learned some Norwegian from our other friend, and I have Duolingo that, that's a piece of junk.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it works, but the pronunciation thing is a little off sometimes because all these apps say, we have native speakers doing it. No, you have a computer that tries to speak in a native way. So, but that's the topic for another day.
Right.
But what he has come out with is, let me launch this so at least you can see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Vault Hunters.
Vault Hunters. Okay. I've never heard of that.
It is a Minecraft
cool.
mod, which is really cool. The original two versions, the first two versions, I did not see the appeal of actually trying to play it because it seemed like it was way too much streamer heavy to me. So I didn't want to play those. I mean, I did, but I wasn't going to. But with this third edition, it seems more accessible to me, and I can actually play it. And what it is basically going in a dungeon, looting, and fighting through hordes of enemies, and seeing what you can come out with. And it is a lot more fun than I'm going to describe it. But it
Minecraft. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
it gives me that nostalgic feeling of the old MMOs where you'd go into a dungeon, you'd battle your way through to the final boss, and you'd get stuff.
Yeah.
So, if anyone's out there that actually wants to relive some of that, Vault Hunters is actually a good way of doing that.
Yeah, sounds worth checking out for real. And I love how versatile Minecraft is. There's so many things you can do with it. And I at first I was one of those people that did not jump on the bandwagon because I was like, how cool can a blocky ass game be? Like
I was the
that
exact
sounds
same
like the
way.
dumbest
Yep.
thing I've ever heard. And then the same friend that got me in, like, tried to get me to play Final Fantasy in that convoluted crap, that same boyfriend actually got me to play on his Minecraft world. And I was instantly hooked. It was like the quickest flip on a game I've ever had, and it was just like I got it for myself, and I was playing it nonstop. It was just amazing. And then, of course, like being such a Pokemon enthusiast, I play Pixelmon a lot, and I actually play on a server called Vox that I got you to play a little bit, and Vox is truly amazing. They um they have dungeons and uh just like that, and all kinds of dungeons that you just like fight your way through. There are mini bosses on the way, and you get this cool loot and cool gear and special currencies, and like the founder of Vox really made it his mission to um make that like RPG feel in Minecraft.
Yeah.
And they don't use any mods. It's all plugins, 100%. It helps people join who may otherwise not have great running computers for gaming. Um, and they just do it all with plugins. Now, like currently, they've done a merge. They used to have like 3 different servers you could play on, But they have recently, very recently, actually merged into one, and they are working on getting a lot of their features back, and they've made a lot of progress so far. And I like will forever be keeping up with them and going back to that server and stuff because they're
Right.
just so amazing. Unfortunately, the founder Zombie Mold has passed away,
Oh no.
and yeah, it was crazy. It was a year ago in December, and it was kind of unexpected. I didn't dig too deep into it. It's not of my business.
Right. I
Um,
wouldn't either.
but like, right, and but the people were like running it, like his. I don't There's a lady named Amy, and I honestly don't know if she's like the wife or girlfriend or something, but they were together and she's kind of been taking some time off. But like the people that have been running it since his passing have been doing an amazing job. Like I am just so stunned at how great they're doing, just keeping everyone's spirits up and keeping progress moving and stuff like that. But point is, that Minecraft server truly like is so awesome, and like keeping that vibe that you were just talking about with
Yeah.
dungeons and stuff. And it's Minecraft.
All right.
So you have like all the fun of building and farming and stuff like that, and then the RPG aspect too. It's really cool.
Yep. Regrettably, we're going to have to revisit the topic of Minecraft, obviously, at some point down the road.
We really can do a whole episode on
Yeah.
Minecraft alone with how many different versions.
Yeah. But yeah, regrettably, we're out of time. So,
We
I'd
didn't
like.
even get to the part where well, I guess it's not a game of how we met, but like I thought for
Yeah.
sure we were gonna get to Imbu eventually.
Hey, you start talking video games, it's going to go forever. All right.
So stay tuned for part two, I guess.
Oh, this is probably going to be. They're video games and stuff like that. There's going to be millions of parts to that coming down the road.
Yep.
Probably going to do
Especially
individual
with us.
games at some point. But like I said, thank you for watching or listening. And remember to follow us, like, comment, subscribe. We are on YouTube and Rumble right now. We will be trying to get this put up into an audio format at some time. I do want to do that. So, and if we get you guys' support, that can happen sooner than later. But yet again, thank you for watching. Anything you want to say before we go?
Nope. Just thanks for listening. Not much to see really yet, but
Yeah.
we appreciate it, and we'll catch you next time.
Later.